as well.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome to NewsXWorld's very special episode of The Focal Length. We're at the 151st session of the Inter-Parliamentary Union in Geneva, and with me on the broadcast is a very special guest, Mr. Sangay Dorji. He's a Member of Parliament from Bhutan. Thank you so much for taking our time and speaking to us on NewsXWorld. At the outset, I wanted to understand from you, how has your experience been at the Inter-Parliamentary Union so far?
Thank you, Ms. Pia. It's a pleasure meeting with you and your media. I think before I answer your question, let me introduce myself once again. I'm Sangay Dorji, currently serving as a chairperson of the National Council of Bhutan, and right now leading the delegations from the Parliament of Bhutan. As you rightly pointed out regarding the IPU, our presentations here, I think IPU is a big forum of the parliaments across the world, where we can come, listen good practices from other nations, and also to express our own good practices, so that we in the strengthening of democracy altogether, which is very important. And for Bhutan, it is very important because, being a young democracy, His Majesty's vision is to strengthen the democracy and give lots of experiences and exposure to the parliamentarians, so that we can take democracy very well, let people understand democracy at the grassroots level. It is a joint effort in building democracy in our country.
Absolutely. And speaking of democracy, what is the future of democracy, in your opinion, for the world?
I think when we started democracy, we have a right to say. And equally, people should understand, and we should not forget, that only practicing the right franchise is not enough. We should also know about our responsibility as well. So therefore, I think a flourishing democracy elsewhere will also make people accountable and accessible, and it is also a way of transparency. And definitely, it is the mentality of the people to uphold the democracy so well, not only expressing our own rights, exercising our own rights. We should also take it into account that in order to flourish democracy, in order to support the governance, it is an individual accountability and the responsibility. So together, I think we should grow, and together we should make this democracy very strong, and in taking the country to the higher level.
Absolutely. As you've pointed out, it's about balancing rights and duties.
True.
Coming to rights itself, the theme of the 151st Assembly of the IPU is human rights and humanitarian assistance at large. We're seeing more than 120 conflicts across the world. 310 million people have been affected by all of this. I wanted to understand from you, how can we as a world come together to galvanize respect for human rights?
Thank you so much. I think that is the vision that His Majesty the King of Bhutan and already enshrined into our constitution as well, the human right, the right of the citizen and responsibility of the citizen. And I think correctly pointed out and given the opportunity here in the General Assembly, the theme of the general debate for this 151st IPU, as you have all rightly mentioned, upholding humanitarian norms and humanitarian support for the human crisis. For this, I think it is high time we communicate and enhance people-to-people interactions, and also to coordinate so well, thinking that we live in one planet. So if we live in one planet, there is no point that we separate ourselves, saying that that is one country, this is another country. I think at the end of the day, what we want is harmony, peace, and development. So if this harmony, peace, and development comes together, this becomes an intersection point that we should understand each other. So therefore, this 151st IPU, with the general theme on these humanitarian norms and supporting each other, I think it is profound and very much appropriate, because this IPU brings more than 100 countries together, the decision makers together, the legislators together. And when we say we respect the humanitarians and cut away those crises, it doesn't mean that when we talk about peace and harmony, it is not only about the absence of war.
Yes.
There are so many other things that you need to take care, and this is the very appropriate forum where we can exchange, listen, and get back to our own country so that this peace and harmony should flourish, and it has to be felt by the people individually.
Absolutely.
Thank
As you've mentioned, you're addressing issues here, problems beyond borders, not just of today, but of the future as well. Now we know that technology has permeated every aspect of our lives. A lot of us are using artificial intelligence, right from young children to the elderly, whether it's complicated deep research or whether maintaining your grocery list as well. I wanted to understand from you as a legislator, what sort of problems do you foresee, because AI is a double-edged sword. What sort of issues do you face in incorporating artificial intelligence and the challenges that it poses to humanity in policy frameworks?
Thank you. Very good question. I think very genuine as well. So in order for the country to go to the next level, things are changing now and then. What is best today may not be considered the best tomorrow. And that is why the technology, and rightly pointed out and enshrined in the wisdom of His Majesty the King to the Bhutanese people, that we should make our country, we call it Dukul, and we say that a digital Dugul, a digitalized Dugul. So which means, yes, this opportunity provided by the technology has to be incorporated into our daily work so that we work smartly, not work hard. We work smartly. And when we get the support and when we use those technologies, as definitely pointed out, it will always come with certain consequences as well. And one thing that at a very normal level in ground reality, of course, the connectivity of internet and communication has to be enhanced first. Otherwise, if that connectivity of the internet speed or the even for that expenses for all these things can't be controlled, I think having the technology will be a waste of time. All the people, as expected, may not be able to use or put that technology into use that would benefit and help us in growing. Another thing, again, with all that AI coming in, much 100 times better than what you and my brain processes, there are also chances that if we don't cope up with that technology, there are chances we may lose our job as well. We may lose our job as well. But there are also certain jobs where this AI may not be fitting into this, may not be able to perform. So therefore, one way we should also get support of the AI, other way we should also keep on building our capacity, upscaling that we are doing in our country as envisioned by His Majesty the King.
My last question to you, how do you look at India-Bhutan ties in particular? We enjoy a very warm equation as people as well, not just government-to-government ties. And where do you see this headed next?
I think we don't qualify to define our bilateral relationships, yet it is beyond our imaginations. The bilateral relationship between Bhutan and India has already started from our ancestors and continuing, and something it can't be compared with any other nations. So that is the level. We should not and we can't compare the bilateral relationship between these two nations with any of the nations that we have in. And similarly, I think India will also feel the same. And we feel that this bilateral relationship between Bhutan and India is so strong that it will continue for all times to come. There is no doubt at all, because we are growing together, we are supporting each other, and we respect each other. And that mutual respected relationship will last forever. And going forward, it is our generation right now, and we should also pass the same value to the young generations regarding that mutual and goodwill relationship between the two nations. And if we pass that value to our upcoming generations, there is no doubt at all we will be all the time enjoying the bilateral relationships as an exemplary for the whole universe.
Absolutely. With that, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking our time.
Thank you.
Joining us on The Focal Length on NewsXWorld.